Hello everyone. I took advantage of a current special going on right now. I just couldn't help myself and I want to share this with you. I'm going to put together a scrapbook layout with this cut above kit. Now this is the March kit, and Close to My Heart is having a promotional sale right now where if you buy 2 kits you get 1 free. So these are pretty cool. If you're a beginner or an advanced scrapbooker, they're really fun. They're great for taking to crops. They're great for getting pages done quickly. This is the, little cover page, so you see the first layout, but if you flip it over on the back, these are the 2 layouts that you can make. Everything is included in here, and let me show you why these are so quick and easy. So if you don't have your photos right away, you get these photo place card holders, and then you can add your photos. Sometimes I'll use these to mat my photos, so you get that nice white frame. Just trim them down a little bit, but that tells you what size photos you need, and then you get all of the bits and pieces. There's a sticker sheet here. And this one here is layout 1. This is layout 2. I'm going to be creating layout 2. I'll be making a few changes just to make it my own, but they're labeled layout 1. So all these stickers go with this one, and then all of these stickers go with the second layout. And then you get a sheet of these punch out die cuts. And again, they're labeled. You guys, this is so easy. This is why they're great to take to crops, or if you go to a friend's house, you just grab this and go. Maybe grab a few stamp sets to add to it if you want to dress it up, or some embellishments, but you really don't need to. So these just pop right out very easily. How cute is this little camera? So the titles are always very usable, like collect beautiful moments from my camera. I'm not sure if I'll be using that title today. We'll see. Let's let it develop. But this is the first layout here. So you can see where you would just add your photo. All of those are already on there. And if you add a little bit of dimension to your your embellishments and whatnot, it really brings these papers to life, because I know we like texture and we like embellishments, right? But when you get this all put together, it really does have that feel of a layered scrapbook page. So that is that one, but we are working with this one today. So I'm going to set this one out, and you even get Close to My Heart page protectors to go with this. And if you have not tried their page protectors, I'm not just saying this because I sell Close to My Heart. I'm saying it because it's true. They have this extra little margin here. They call that a gutter, and it makes it so the pages lay flat. If you, as your album starts getting full and those pages, you're opening it up and they're kind of like buckled or sticking up a little bit, that's why, because they don't have this, and this is a patented design with Close to My Heart, and it truly makes a big difference. So let me clear this up and bring in my VersaMats here. This is a double page layout. Let me just set these off to the side. I don't think I'll be needing my photo mats, so I'll save those for another project. Scoop these up, bring in my mats here, and then we're going to secure these 2 pages. So this one goes over here. This is the left hand side, and then this is the right hand side. They even have that cute little stitching around there, little detail, and then this is going to make a fun little banner element here. I went ahead and gathered all the pieces, and I started cutting out some of the stickers that I knew I would use. There's a few others on here plus the title from my camera, but I think I'm going to save that for a different layout. And I like to move things around, so I just went ahead and got these ready. And now if you look at the layout, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 photos. I have 6, and some of them are in different orientations, so I'm going to mix it up just a little bit. You can see they have a long horizontal or landscape photo, and then probably a 3x4 portrait photo, a couple 3x4 landscapes, and then a 4x6 landscape. Mine, as I mentioned, are different. So let's go ahead and just quickly put this layout together as intended. So this piece here mats your photos, plus they give you those journaling lines, and it would go right there. And then these pieces, they have, this one's already on the paper, and then you can just add these. And I'm following along the guide. You could mix these up in a different order if you wanted to, but I'm going to go ahead and put it together as intended. So we've got that, and then I just want to show you what it looks like if you put this together how they recommend. So you would have your 2 photos here, and then this times like these, that works for everything, right? So then you would put your banner here, this would overlap there, and then this little banner piece would go here, and then you have your camera, making a really nice little embellishment cluster here for your photos. And then on this side, they've got all of these little banner pieces here. Actually, there's a few cute more. This says yay. That goes over there on the blueprint guide. And then they have all of their, some of these are punch outs and some of these are stickers. So I will go ahead and peel them off. You can see I just cut them out to use them. You can also remove the adhesive backing, and that way I like to dry fit everything until I'm 100% sure. This one goes here, and then this one would go here, just like that. Then you'd have your photo here, a couple photos here, and then the title. So let's hang on to these guys for now. Now let me show you what I'm going to do with my photos. My son Hayden has been racing, mountain bike racing in the California Enduro Series all season. So this is him right here on the right and a couple of his good buddies that were at this particular race. And then I've got some pictures just of him and I. You can see he's got a medal. I'll skip to this one here. He got 2nd place in his category, which is the expert category for his age group, which is really awesome. He missed 1st place by, we're talking fractions of a second. So he was bummed, but I was still proud of him. So this I printed in a 4x4, and I'm going to place this one over here. And then this one is not quite a 4x6, it's 5.5x4. That one's going to go there. And then I am going to put 2 landscape photos here. Now these photos, they're kind of blurry because I was filming. I mean, these guys are whipping by so fast, and mountain bike racing is not a spectator sport because it's hard to, there's only a few spots where you can actually watch them coming through. So you're kind of camped out waiting for that, like, you know, split second. So everybody's got their cameras ready, and then I just screenshot some of the, you know, frames from the video. So those are going to go just like that. And instead of 1 landscape photo, I've got 2 3x4s that I'm going to put here. So there's Hayden and I, his girlfriend Desiree joined us, and she brought her bike because it's all spread out and it's nice to have a bike to cruise around. So this is kind of what I'm thinking here. Now I can already tell you I don't like this. This is awkward to me. So I'm going to fix this. What I'm thinking is, first of all, I've printed these with a white border and it's not showing up. So I went ahead and cut some photo mats from sapphire paper. Now this is sapphire paper also. And I want to bring out the blues. There's a ton of blues in the photo. And plus Hayden really likes the color blue. And I know that ultimately this layout is going to be for him, so I want him to love it, of course. And I'll put them in our family book for now, but eventually I'll sort them out into books for each of my boys. So let me just kind of line this up on the photo mat, and then we know that we want that one there. We can put this one here. No sense in dry fitting these because we know we're going to go with it. Just line that up so we have a nice even margin. So as I mentioned, I don't like this awkward corner. So what I'm going to do is drop this down so these photos are on the same level. And then I can always add something up here. I'm big on arrows. I love arrows on my guide pages. So I could put some arrows or just some little stamp detail up there. I'm going to go ahead and ink up these edges too and give those a little bit of separation. I am going to use black to do that. There is a black introduced in like this die cut, that's black. And my thinking is these are kind of bright colors, which you could use this layout for younger kids, but I want this to be, you know, really kind of cool to match the vibe of the photos. And bringing in black is just going to kind of add it, make it a little bit more, I don't want to say older, but more age appropriate for my son who is 19. So just any of these little areas I can bring in black, and I think I'll probably make my title in black also. It just adds kind of a little bit of edge to it when you have all these bright fun colors. So I think the black is going to work really well. So we'll go ahead and just add a little shadowing. I'll do this piece and then I'll pause the camera. Now that one is, you know, part of the layout, so I can't ink those edges up, but most of that's going to be covered anyway. And if it really bothered you, you could very carefully go around with a fine point black pen and add a little black detailing if you wanted to do it that way. So all of those are inked up and adhered down, and I noticed a little bit, someone's hand is in the corner of my photo. Sorry, my light is probably, let me move my light. You can see someone's hand there. It's not a huge deal, but if I can cover it, that's definitely something I'll try to do with my embellishments. So this is kind of in this corner anyway, so that's perfect. We can hide that hand. I don't know whose hand that is, so I don't really want it in my photo. And then bring these in, and actually I'm going to ink these up too. Now if you watch my friend Jema Malmi, and she does a great job, I love her videos. Funny thing, she actually used this layout just last week and did a golfing theme, and she changed it up to match and complement her photos. So if you haven't watched Jema's video yet, go ahead and check that out. And it's just, you know, a great example of how you can make these kits work for you and easily add a theme, because they come as, you know, just a generalized scrapbook theme, and you can just easily switch them up to, you know, make them work for whatever, you know, the theme of your photos. As I mentioned in the beginning, one way you can kind of add some life to these pre-printed pages is a little bit of dimension. So I like to pop up just a few of my embellishments with some dimensional foam, and there's a couple different thicknesses. I really like the thin 3D foam tape, but so does everybody else, and it sells out fast. So if that's in stock and you're placing an order, it's always a good idea to throw a couple packs of the thin 3D foam tape. This is the regular, and it's still a good thickness. It's not too bulky. So I'll go ahead and peel that off. Oops, sticking to my finger. And then I don't want to cover, they've actually got Georgetown in the photo, so I want to make sure that I'm not taking away from that, because that's where the bike race was. That looks good. And we'll tuck this little guy right up underneath, because it was definitely a yay moment. We definitely were saying yay on the sidelines there. So for these photos, it's the same thing. I've got white on white, so I am going to add just a little mat of sapphire cardstock, so those pop a little bit more off of the background there. And this cardstock is from, you know, my collection. It did not come with these kits, but, you know, most of us scrapbookers have cardstock in our craft room, so it would be easy to add some photo mats there. Let me bump this one down just a little bit. I don't think I'm going to mat these, because I think that looks nice. I could double mat them, but we're just going to leave those plain. On the little banners, what I love to do is add dimension to the very bottom, so they're kind of like floating a little bit, and I like to add these tiny 3D foam dots. They work really well. And then just a little adhesive at the very top. This is a great technique to do when you're creating floral clusters and you're putting your little leaves in there. Just pop up the very tips of the leaves, and it adds a really nice look. So we'll get that lined up with that banner. I thought these were really fun because there's, you know, flags. When you're at a race, there's you know, they have it, you can't see it, but there's like tape going through the trees to mark the course, and little like banners and flags everywhere. So I thought that those were really a perfect little detail for the event. For the title, they do have the stickers from my camera, which is really cute, and you can use that for so many things. They've got it down in this area here. I cut mine out. I used the print and cut feature in Design Space and created Race Day here. I will put this font in. This is a Cricut font. It isn't Cricut Access, or you do have to purchase it, but I just looked under Sport because I wanted a sporty font and found this one, and I could put this over here. Generally, I like my title on the left. I don't always have to do that, but in this situation, I've got this big open space. Now they do too. on theirs. And Jema put a photo there which looked fabulous, but I don't have another picture that I want to put there. So I kind of was like, well, let's try it. Let's put the title over there and see what it looks like here. And you know what? I do like it. It kind of anchors that photo. It really pops off that orange nectarine color pattern paper there. And I think that that is going to work really well. And then we'll just kind of beef up the embellishments over here so it doesn't feel so empty. Now we also have more stickers still. They have these kind of coming down, and I actually really like that because it brings your attention to my son in the photo. There's a lot of green in the background, so I'm actually going to switch those around and maybe put the green at the very top. So I'm going to start with this one. Let me just scoot this down so my head's not in the picture here. I think that'll be enough room. Let's see. Yeah, that'll be good. So I'm going to put that right over my son's head there. Then we'll go with this one, the lighter color orange, and then I'm just barely tacking them down. That way I can move them. This is me being brave. I almost always remove the adhesive, and I'm not. So let's see. When you stick them to your photos, those don't come off very well. So you know what? I was going to bump them up, but I'm going to go with it, and it's going to be just fine. So you know, if you've been watching my videos for a while, you know I love arrows, and this is kind of, these chevrons make a great little arrow to draw your focus to a, you know, you can kind of lead them across the layout, or like in this instance, I'm drawing attention to my son in the photo. To further customize this layout, I turned to my stamp collection, and I have a bin that I categorize boys, and all the stamps that I would use, you know, that just are obviously, you know, for my boys, I keep in that one. So this one here, unfortunately, it's no longer available, but it's called See You at the Finish Line, and I snatched this one up right away. It's kind of like a triathlon, but start to finish, go the distance, live to race, all sorts of, you know, terms that I can use. I do have some triathlon pictures I haven't scrapbooked actually, and some mud run ones that I could use this for too, but I want to use this start to finish and see you at the finish line. I thought those will be fun. And then I also grabbed this one here. This one is still available, and I think it's just so teenage boy. It's perfect. It's called Fresh Paint, and you've got this little splotchy, drippy background, and then lots of like super epic, live life, so rad, awesome, cool. I've used this star quite a bit on different layouts, but this one is great, and I've used this a bunch on my boy layouts. And this one I grabbed, it's called BMX Life, and I might incorporate some of these. This one's no longer available either. Sorry about that, guys. The stamp sets, sometimes they just go so quick when they are very popular. So I mounted See You at the Finish Line on my block. I am going to turn my VersaMat over because I am stamping right on my layout. This has that foam cushion that's going to give me a better chance to be successful. We're going to stamp this right up here. So I already kind of held it up, and it fits quite nicely. This is another opportunity to bring in more black. Actually, I don't want that one. I want Archival black. This is the kind of the deepest, richest black, and it is archival quality. So when I'm stamping on my scrapbook pages, this is definitely the one I go for. So let me just move this, give myself a little room here, and we'll get this nice and inky. Now I already did practice a few times on some scratch paper, so I know that this is stamping well. Definitely something you want to do when you're stamping right onto your layout. Make sure you don't have any ink on your block that might transfer to your page. And then let me scoot this down just so I can see over it a little bit better. We're going to line that up with the top of the photo. Give it a second here to soak in. You don't want to lift it up too fast. You'll get a crisper image when you just allow that paper to soak the ink up. Oh my goodness, I should have stamped it off. It's not quite as dark as I wanted. So I mentioned I stamped it on scratch paper earlier, but it was probably about, you know, I don't know, not apparently too long ago. I should have done it right away. It just makes such a big difference. So do you see? It's not a great quality stamped impression. And you know, it's consistently like that, so it really doesn't look horrible, but I'm not super happy. I'm going to try to fix it. So let's problem solve this here. What I'm going to do is stamp it on a piece of white daisy paper. I'm going to practice what I preach, and I'm going to practice on stamp paper first. That is literally where I went wrong. Now, sometimes your ink pads will dry out and you won't get a good impression. And if that's the case, you know, you can re-ink your ink pads. But just, you know, even if the stamp is seasoned, this step just really helps. Okay, now it is stamping well and taking up that ink. So let's try this on our strip of white daisy here. I've got an idea. I think it's going to look good. We'll see. Okay, give that a second there. Much, much better. So I'm thinking we could either just layer this directly over the paper underneath and kind of hide it, but I think that I'm going to layer this on another piece of cardstock. So let's cut this down. I cannot cut a straight line to save my life, so we're going to go ahead and use this. And then these get caught when they're super small. Just poke a piece of paper under there and it'll pop right out. So that looks nice. Now this piece of paper was on the original sketch for the title. You can see they've used it there. I'm going to use this to mat this piece of our stamped impression here. So let's go ahead and make this look even more intentional by putting a dovetail in it. Just going to shorten that, and then we'll put just a little dovetail so it looks like a little banner, and then we'll have that coming out from underneath the photo, and this is going to hide that less than perfect stamped image there. Okay, perfect. So let's adhere this to our paper. Don't be afraid to, sometimes it ends up better. You know, you think, oh my goodness, I just messed it up, all that work, but then the fix ends up being a better result than what you were going with in the first place. So you never know. Now, when I have it like this, I can cut a straight line because I have that, you know, border that helps me. But if it's just trying to line it up on a sentiment, oh my goodness, I end up cutting the sentiment. You know, you just try to straighten it. You take a little more, and then there's nothing left, and you have to restamp it. So now for this one, we're just going to match that angle of that dovetail, just like so, and hopefully this ends up looking better on the layout than just stamping it up there. We'll add a little pop of that green, right? Let's see how I'm going to move this before I end up wearing it or getting it on my layout where I don't want it. Okay, moment of truth here. Can flip this back over. Don't need the foam anymore. And I like it. What do you guys think? No one will ever know that that was under there and less than perfect. So, you know, it looked good that way too, just directly on the layout, but I think that this looks great also. Now, I mentioned earlier I wanted to add some embellishments over here because they had the title and now we have this open spot. And actually, by the time we get our journaling on here, I don't think it looks bad because there's all these layers here. But I went ahead and used that same finish line stamp to stamp this circle, start to finish, go the distance. And I thought that this would look good right here. I could put it over here too. They do have in the layout, they have a couple little banner pieces coming from beneath the photo just to add a cute little detail. So they had a little something something right there. I am thinking maybe let's go with this area. We can still use these. We'll put the green one here and then let's layer the orange one over the top because it would kind of be lost on that orange strip of paper. So we'll put those right there. And I do want to add a star. There's a little star here. Oh, maybe the well, that's kind of got it all, the swim, bike, and run. Let's go with the star. And we'll stamp that in nectarine. We are going to practice first. Make sure that's good. And it is stamping perfectly. So we'll go right in the middle, and I like this because you can change up the color, make it work for your layout. That looks good. It comes with a few little paper arrows that you could use, but I went ahead, I want to bring in more black. So I dug through my black acrylic arrows, and I thought it'd be cute to add just a few little details here. We could add some arrows here. Let's see, I've got a bunch of these ones. Let's try these. Maybe make a little row, just to add a little texture. And again, more of that black. That might be fun. We'll leave that there for just a bit and see how it grows on us. There's this tiny little mountain biker on this stamp here, so I thought maybe that would be fun. Let's put him kind of right here. Moment of truth. I've stamped this a gazillion times on scratch paper, and maybe we'll go right on the blue. Give it just a moment. Yes, yes, looks good. And then we can kind of put the arrows back like, hey, go this way. I do get a lot of comments on my channel about I make it look so easy. Some days it's easy, you know, some days I've got an idea and it does just come together and, you know, everything goes perfectly. But please know that other days I pause the camera and I walk away, or I stare at the layout for what seems like hours. We've all been there, right? And you know, obviously you don't want to stare at that on YouTube for hours with me. So, you know, I cut that part out and then it makes it look very easy. But I will say that with these kits, these cut above starter kits, it really is that easy. And you see how I can customize these and add a theme and change up my photos. So they really are a great way to learn, or a great way to get pages done quickly. And when you go watch Jama's video, you'll see how she created a theme and switched up the colors to work for her papers. I thought it would be cool to start the journaling with a little prompt, super epic, and that is from the Fresh Paint stamp set. So they're two separate, and I just stacked them and then cut it out with my scissors to make it look like it was die cut. And I stamped that in Avocado because this is avocado, and I wanted to bring a little bit more of that over to this area here. So from cute little boy playing on the beach to teenage boy racing layout. What do you guys think? I wanted to show you the other kit I got. So this one is March that I created with this. There's the layout we made, and then I still have this layout, which I really, really love. And then I also got the February kit. I really liked this layout background here. They're both super cute. So you have this one here with the colorful hearts. You warm my heart, very usable. But this one I really loved. I love the banner element, the distressing on the background. You and Me is a title that works great. And we've just got all these, look at that envelope and tags and little just layering bits and pieces. Look at that notebook edge there. Do you see that? I just thought it was so cute. So I can't wait to put that one together. But again, these are buy two, get one free. So there's two double page layouts per packet. And you guys saw how easy that was to put together. I'm going to go ahead and add my journaling off camera, and you will be able to see that in the still shots I'll share over on Instagram. It'll be on Facebook and Pinterest, so whichever you prefer. Just a heads up, this particular promotion of buy two kits, get one free is just going on through the month of August. Everything I used can be found in the description box below the video. And please take a moment to hit that thumbs up button if you found this video inspiring. It does help me out here on YouTube, and I appreciate that. Thank you so much for hanging out and spending time, and I'll catch you next time.